Let's pay down that mortgage faster. Today, I'm going to cover the 3 most effective ways to pay down your mortgage faster and save tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest over the life of your mortgage. Welcome back, guys. And for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Jarrett White. I run a mortgage team here in BC called White Mortgage. My goal is to provide you value through education on mortgages to hopefully save you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest over the life of your mortgage. Before we get into the 3 most effective ways to pay down your mortgage faster, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified, and like this video so more people just like yourself have an easier time finding it. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The first privilege you get is you can put a lump sum towards your mortgage amount every single year. Now, this is typically a percentage and it ranges from 10 to 20%. This means that if you had a $500,000 mortgage, you could potentially put up to $100,000 towards just paying down your loan every single year. This would shave an unbelievable amount of time off the life of your mortgage and save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest if you were to do this. It's important to make sure you know exactly what your privileges are, because if you exceed that total percentage that the bank's allowing, it will trigger a penalty that can be quite substantial. Not only that, but it's important to keep in mind that some banks also have restrictions on when you can do this. A lot of them only allow you to do it on the anniversary date of your mortgage, otherwise known as a birthday payment, whereas some banks allow you to do it whenever you want, as many times as you want, as long as you don't exceed that total percentage. On top of being able to put the lump sum towards your mortgage, you're also given the privilege to increase your payment, typically up to 100% your original payment. This means that you can increase your payment basically up to double. So if your payment was $2,000 a month, you can increase it all the way up to $4,000 a month, and all that extra amount is only going towards paying off your loan. None of it goes towards interest. To illustrate how effective the lump sum payments can be, if you were to get a $500,000 mortgage stretched out over 25 years and you put $100,000 towards your mortgage every single year, it would reduce your amortization to less than 5 years. Not only that, but you're gonna save over $300,000 in interest over the life of your mortgage. Well, that does seem pretty unrealistic to be putting 20% every single year towards your loan amount. But how about if we do an assessment for 10%? Lump sum payments of 10% each year will reduce a 25-year mortgage into a 7-year mortgage and still save you over $275,000 in interest. However, that still seems like a very unreasonable thing to do because 10% is a lot of money. But how about if we look at 5%? Well, 5% turns your 25-year mortgage into less than 10 years. That means you're still cutting the life of your loan by more than half, and this is still saving you over $225,000 in interest over the life of your mortgage. Now, I want to be super realistic for a second. What if you were to just put 1% towards your mortgage every single year? What difference does that make? Well, it actually turns your 25-year mortgage into less than 20 years, meaning you're shaving 5 years off your mortgage. And get this, you're saving a whopping $95,000 or more in interest over the life of your mortgage, simply by putting 1% lump sums every single year. That just goes to show how fast you can actually pay down your mortgage if you were to use your privileges. And this is with only using the lump sum privilege. You can use the increased payment privilege on top of that as well to pay it down even faster. Okay, so now that we've gone over prepayment privileges, the second method is what I like to call the silent interest killer. And the reason why, it's a very easy thing to do and it's not very noticeable. However, it makes a huge difference. And this is changing your payment frequency. Payment frequencies are how often you're making your mortgage payment. So you can choose monthly, choose semi-monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, and there's options such as accelerated bi-weekly and accelerated weekly that make a huge difference in paying down your mortgage. Normal bi-weekly payments are taking your annual payment and dividing it by 26. The reason why is there's 52 weeks in a year, and if you're gonna make a payment every 2 weeks, that means there's gonna be 26 payments in that year. Accelerated bi-weekly payments, on the other hand, they're gonna take your semi-monthly payment and you're making that payment 26 times a year. Therefore, your accelerated bi-weekly payment is actually a little bit more than your normal bi-weekly payment, which is why it's paying the mortgage down faster. However, the difference in payment is quite minimal in comparison to the effect that it can have. To give you an example, a $500,000 mortgage at 5.25% would have a biweekly payment of $1,264. The accelerated biweekly payment would be $1,371. This means there's a $107 difference every single time you're making a mortgage payment. Now, over an entire year, that amounts to $2,782 difference in payments. Seems quite minimal in the grand scheme of things, right? Well, you are going to be shocked by the difference that it makes. For a 5-year term with the mortgage I mentioned above, if you were to set your payments for bi-weekly, you would have paid your mortgage down by $39,661 and paid $123,810 in interest. If you made the simple switch to accelerated bi-weekly payments, you would have paid your principal down by $55,472 and your interest down by $122,858. This is nearly a difference of $16,000 simply by just switching your bi-weekly payments to accelerated bi-weekly. Seems worth it to me, don't you think? So now that we've covered both of those methods, I want to move on to the third method and my favorite method. And this is actually going to be quite shocking. The third method is actually getting into more debt. Now you may be thinking, why are you saying to get into more debt when this whole video is about getting out of debt and paying off debt faster? Well, when I say this, I'm not referring to getting more credit cards or line of credits or taking out car loans. I'm referring to using your equity in your home to pay off your credit cards, line of credits, car loans, and any other high interest debt. The reason why this is always a good idea is, for one, oftentimes your mortgage is going to have the lowest interest rate out of all your loans, and two, it's stretched out over such a long period of time that that payment is going to get reduced significantly. Now, people may think, well, why would I want to pay my debt over a longer period of time? Doesn't that mean I'm just going to pay more interest? That would be the case if all you were to do is pay out the debt and just let it ride out. But that's not what I'm telling you to do. The reason why consolidating all your debt is a good idea is now you're going to have way more cash flow to actually put towards those other options that we mentioned before, with the lump sum payments and the increased payment frequencies. Now, if you don't have any debt, well, you can't necessarily do this. However, that's when you want to look at using your equity to invest in real estate. The reason why this is typically a good idea is because real estate is an appreciating asset. So if you're going to put debt into it, it's typically going to have a renter paying off that interest and appreciating over time. And as long as it cash flows and it appreciates more than what you're paying in interest, then it makes sense. So there you have it. Those are the 3 best ways to pay down your mortgage faster. And if you would like to discuss your specific mortgage and what privileges you have, be sure to reach out or just put in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer those. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, and ring the bell to be notified so you can see more videos just like this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.